In this series of videos, we're going to talk about linear relations, function operations, and piecewise functions. So let's start with linear relations. Slope-intercept form of a linear function is y equals mx plus b. And we call it slope-intercept form because the coefficient of x is your slope when written in this form, and the constant that you're adding to your variable term is your y-intercept. So it's the value of your y-intercept. Slope-intercept form. Slope formula the slope is equal to, and it's a fraction, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we call that the change in y over the change in x. Sometimes we call it rise over run. From that slope formula, we get the point slope formula. So if I were to cross multiply and multiply m times x2 minus x1, m times x2 minus x1 equals 1 times y2 minus y1, we would get the point slope formula. The only difference is that where you see these 2's, those subscripts are removed because these variables remain. So your y remains and your x remains, just like your y and your x remained in the slope-intercept form and point slope formula. Those will be your only two variables, and the other three values are filled in with numerical values. They call it the point slope formula because you have a point, x1, y1, and you have a slope. So from this formula, you can see very clearly what your slope is, and you can tell at least one other point very clearly from the formula that is on the line. So let's get comfortable using these. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that passes through the points 3, -4, and -1, 5. Our first step is to find the slope. So I'm going to use my slope formula. Now it helps me if I rewrite my ordered pairs vertically. Then I can line up my x's and my y's without moving left and right and pulling the wrong number. So I can either choose -4 minus 5, or I can choose 5 minus -4. I'm going to choose for -4 minus 5. So it's y minus y. And let me show you that real quick here, just in case. So here's a negative and here's a negative. It's going to be y minus y. So the first y, I'm going to pull this as my first value, so -4 minus 5. That's the difference of my y's. And then because I started with -4 in the numerator, I'm going to start with +3, its corresponding value, -4's corresponding x value, in the denominator, 3 minus -1. So we have -9 over 4. So our slope is -9/4. Now we're going to take that slope and we're going to substitute it in. So we're going to take this slope and we're going to substitute it in for m with one other point. So we need to pick a point. Do we want 3, -4 or -1, 5? It really doesn't matter. I'll pick -1, 5. So I've got y equals mx plus b And in place of m, I'm putting negative 9/4. In place of x and y, I'm going to put negative 1 and 5. So we've got 5 equals, x equals negative 1, y equals 5, m equals negative 9/4. Sometimes I start writing the number and I think, someone might not know where I'm getting that 5 from. 5 equals negative 9/4 times negative 1 plus b. 5 equals 9/4 plus b. From here you can clear the fraction if you want, or you can say, well, 5 is the same thing as 20/4. I'm going to subtract 9/4 from both sides. So that's going to give me 11/4 equals b. And now we can sub that value in for b. We know that m is negative 9/4, and we get y equals negative 9/4 x plus 11/4.